So, this community loves to complain. We complain about MMOs dying, which is not true. We complain about balance issues, bugs, glitches. We complain about really anything that we want. We're kind of entitled. However, the one of the big things that I don't see people complaining about that concerns me because they're not complaining about it is when games from the West, from Japan, from Korea, are being released into China. Now, the reason that this is something that concerns me is pretty simple. China is not a good country. The CCP, or Chinese Communist Party, is a dictatorship party. What I mean is that they don't run the country democratically. Sure, the leader could be voted into office, but once they're in office, they have absolute power. They don't have checks and balances that these civilized countries have. And I'm not saying China is civilized at all. No, there's too much corruption there, too much in need of changing. I'm not saying that America or China, I mean Japan or Korea, are perfect by any means. They have their flaws, they have their corruption, but it's not nearly as bad as China. But that aside, the issue here is that the CCP, particularly the leader, just absolutely positively loves to ban things. So they banned so far they've banned blood, guts, skeletons, organized crime, and absolutely anything that can portray China in a negative light. And if the maps are not correct, if you portray China as being um, of the border being different than they think it is, then they ban your game. The the problem with this is that this heavy censorship, all it does is it makes games more bland, more generic. When you're trying to appeal to this audience, the Chinese market, your MMO is not gonna be as good because of these restraints. You have to take away a lot of your creativity in order to appeal to the bullshit sensibilities of the government. But that's not what we want. We want really creative, fun second worlds for us to play in. That's just not what the CCP wants. Oh, sure, they don't care if you have fun, but only if it's within very strict parameters. And those parameters only get smaller and smaller. And as those parameters get smaller, and Western MMOs and Japanese MMOs and Korean MMOs continue to try to appeal to the Chinese market, they're just going to lose more and more of their creativity, making them more and more bland and generic. And it really will cause an MMO crash. Whoops. I don't want that. We don't want that as a community. Because we love MMOs, right? But then there are people who don't seem to care. And it baffles me. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to say that that's not the case, that MMOs need to appeal to the Chinese market in order to recoup, the cost and to make a profit, but that's not really true. The the market in China isn't as good as a lot of people are saying it is. The Chinese market has a huge number of people, the most or some of the most people in the world. However, that's all they have. The economy isn't good because it's not capitalism based. It's mercantilism, in which the government controls the market. And when you have an individual or individuals controlling the market, it's going to fail. That's what history has taught us. The reason this is because humans are flawed. No one human, no group of humans can possibly know what's best for the market. Of course, the free market's not perfect. But with the free market, we've gotten a lot of good things. A lot more good things than we've gotten in mercantilism. It's only the move away from mercantilism that we've gotten 90% of what we have. But people seem to still be under the illusion that China is a good market. And that is why I think that a lot of people want to appeal to China. But when you add up the censorship, the high risk of your game being banned for reasons that are just absolute crap, and how the market isn't actually for people who have the disposable income for these games, there's actually no reason to appeal to it. I think if MMOs from the West, from Japan, from Korea, weren't trying to appeal to China, they would actually get a lot more money. No, I know they would get a lot more money because they would be experimenting more with better technology. They'd be experimenting with, better storylines, better um, mechanics, just overall making improvements that people want. Or they think people want, anyways. Depends. But these improvements are held back by the CCP, who does not care for progress. They just want things their way. And when developers bow down to this authoritarian regime, they can't make improvements. They have no reason to. So, we need to demand that our MMOs are not being published in China. Not MMOs that do not come from China. We need to demand better. Thank you for listening, and hopefully this has given you something to think about, and hopefully it has gotten you to be more active about paying attention to where MMOs are being published. Your favorite MMOs are being published, and the ones that you're looking forward to are being published. So, yeah, thank you for listening, and until next time. I want it to stop.